I would love to know why nobody preaches out of the Bible anymore. Nobody does. Nobody. It's always it always has to be a commentary that's not always rooted in faith. And I've had like this just juxtaposition recently. Like every church I've been trying recently, I was staying in the same place for a while. I left ALC. I think officially it would say like June or July. And then I tried Cherry Hills for a little bit. Like a really healthy community of like young adults. It's an older group. It's like better for me. But like the ministry is not poured into by the church. And I feel like where I'm not really being seen there at all if that ministry can't be filled. And at the same time, I heard a 6'7" joke in a sermon. And I just could not tell you like how much that like terrified me. Like where are we, dude?
That was the turnoff. The 6'7".
So when I've gone to the Heights, yeah, it was insane. Like I've already heard that too much. I'm a young life leader too, so I already hear that joke too much. Leading high school, I've heard that too much. Leading middle school, I've heard that too much. Those type of things. I was just like, where are we in society by hearing that? I've been going to the Heights more recently, and dude, the first thing we do is we open up. And he has his Bible open the entire time in his hand, not just sitting over there on a stand, not just on the screen. It's in his hand. Why can't we do that anymore?
It's a great question. Maybe you and I will just have to be the catalysts.
That's probably a 3-hour text conversation for us in like 5 weeks. I think that's probably what that turns into.
How are we going to change the status of 21st century Christianity? Yeah.
Yeah. I was stunned by that. When I saw that at the Heights, I was like, this is so pure. This feels so what like God wants from us on Sunday. And why do I see that nowhere else? Nowhere else. Any of the churches I've really gone to since it's probably been 3 years. And then even when I went home to see my family for Christmas. They did not do that. The church I used to go to in Illinois. And I was like, man, I really miss that. Maybe they're worried about us being the pew church that sings hymns all day. And, that type of church is hard to exist in this day and age. And some of that I understand. Some of that stuff, I mean, a lot of these hymns have been moved into songs and it sounds awesome still, so I don't know why we can't. Again, maybe I'm too old soul too as well. But I just miss the days of opening up the Bible and really going right out of the Word. Really analyzing, going for the pretext, what it leads into in a real application that is not just so broad. It's like anything in the universe can turn into something like that. Our application points are so broad now in every sermon. It's so tough, bro. Because I've always, tried to pray like not in one ear and out the other. But I get why it happens now. I really do. Like these things are so. And I think pastors are painted into a corner a little bit too. I think that it's, like you said, it's really hard for them to dig into where they need to dig into. But I just miss that day and age where we can do that. And I was thrilled to like be around that again. So I don't know if you have any thoughts about that, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. the broad applications for sure, man.
It's painful. It's so painful.
Well, I mean, that's really where you end up when you stop walking through the text.
Yeah.
Right? Because now you have to take smaller verses here and there and you have to try to make them sound motivational to your audience.
Then it turns into a fabricated childhood story for the pastor, and then it goes to application, right?
Sure. Yeah, that's definitely part of it too. Yeah. It's like it gets thrown around a lot. It's like, well, we're becoming too man-centered as a Christian body in 21st century America, and it's like, yeah, there's some distinctions to be made there, but overall, yes, when you're starting to give people broad motivational takeaways that aren't grounded in scripture, that you just end up not fostering a body that's grounded to take on the challenges of this day and age, which is the most important thing. You were created here for that reason.
Question for that though. I used to roll my eyes and kind of giggle when people would say there's like a revival going on, but I actually am starting to see it.
Oh yeah?
What do you think, even in a day and age where I guess, again, I was just talking about how I think that there's a lot of stuff that's watered down. Why now as like our generation, or we're close. We're in the same generation, I think, but like just barely.
What generation are you? Well, how old are you?
26.
You're like 20. You're 26?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Sunday. It just happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So like this last Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, so you completed another revolution around the sun recently.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like an adult in every way you can possibly explain now. There's no way. I mean, I can rent a car. I'm on my own insurance.
Wow,
like,
dude.
There's nothing to hide behind my parents for anymore.
Exactly. Yes, we are in the same generation.
Yeah.
So back on point. What were you saying?
How is this revival happening when we live in such a wicked society? How can those things both exist at the same time?
And so here's what I think about this, because seeing this through the lens of the end times is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun topic to discuss in many Christian
that might
circles
be our
today.
next pod.
Yeah, right. Exactly. My particular perspective on the end times actually is the one of the 3 or 4 main ones, at least talking about the millennium, when Jesus reigns for 1,000 years, 1,000 years, the nature of that, up for debate. The perspective I hold there is that we're in the church age now, obviously, and this is that symbolic 1,000 years. And over time, those who are supposed to come to Christ, who God will save, will continue coming to him. So that number of people worldwide continues getting larger. At the same time, society gets more and more evil. And so this is really the beauty of reality through this particular perspective. And I also think it's biblically grounded. Mm-hmm. But what you really have here is you have more and more people coming to Christ. Millions, billions of people probably. There's a large multitude. That's what Revelation 7 says about who's in heaven. You have all these people coming to Christ, and you have at the same time society drifting further and further away from the truth, to the point where Jesus eventually returns, and it's like, whoa, boom, he comes back, Revelation 19 with the sword, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. And so I think that's kind of how you could say that at this point in time, there is a quote unquote revival that could be happening, but that's always been the case since the church age started. So for me, when I hear people talking about revival, it's like, we have to talk about what that means. How are we defining that? Because it's like, do I expect the majority of America to be truly saved Christians? No, not now, not at any point in human history going forward.
That's not going to ever happen. Yeah.
And so that impacts the way you do revival, right? Because if you're setting up your revival to try and bring as many people into the faith as possible, it's like, that's great, but you might run the risk.
Shallow too.
You might run the risk of being too shallow and not getting deep enough into the truth, or presenting an accurate enough picture of the gospel to the point where you're just creating ultimately false conversions.
Yeah, because we've also both been like, I want to word this like really carefully, like not supported through weird things by churches, right? I'm not going. I got to go that broad
Sure.
to protect us here.
Sure.
But like, man, I see a generation that like drinks less. There's stats about that. That's a huge thing. They're now at the same time they're vaping way more. So there's that. But they're drinking less. They're partying less than any other generation, almost combined. Since like the 60s, I see a generation that. I see more people yearning to find something in life that's not what they've been told always should exist. And that's a really good start. Now it's important on us as Christians to continue to develop those people and bring them into where they need to be, which is a place where they do everything they can to glorify God every day. But I'm just excited like that it seemed like there's a heart change in guys and girls our age. That's like, people are kind of sick of what the world's telling them a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's empty, right? So
it is. It's never been more empty.
Yeah.
It's never been more.
And so eventually you realize you can't run on empty.
Yeah.
Literally. And so you end up approaching different perspectives like faith, like Christianity, from a more humble perspective. And it's like, well, at one point in time, I never wanted to have to follow all these rules or worship some God, but I haven't really seen anything else work that I can do. And then so that type of perspective could draw someone to the point where they're like, hey, maybe there's more truth to this Christianity and Christ thing than I initially thought back when I was like, okay, the world can give me all that I need.